Welcome to Snetterton and welcome to the Stephen Petrie Trophy race here for the Thundersport 500, a race in memory of the late Stephen Petrie, who hailed from not too far away from here and of course was a regular Thundersport 500 competitor. And well, family are here to witness this race, and there's been a nice number of riders that have volunteered to take part as well. Nice to see one or two riders out at the sharp end here that maybe you're not used to seeing on TV day. You can just see Stephen's family there in the starting gantry. It is away from the line then in this memorial race, and number 61 with the early advantage, that's Mark Smith. A few orange bibs out there as well for you to keep an eye on for riders that are new to racing. Number 94 also with a good start, Joe Miller, the yellow bike with the black leathers as they head into Montreal. Number 21 then, and number 57. 21 is James Lee, and 57 Chris Poncia. Chris and Matt Poncia, brothers that not far down the road from here themselves actually. But down the back straight then at Snetterton and into the S's for the first time, and there's a change for the lead there as number 94 goes through. That is Joe Miller on the M-Tech Racing Honda with the advantage now then ahead of 61 Mark Smith on the THR Motorsport bike. Number 20 going through there as well, Dave Bezic, who Phil Doody claims is his dad. Then Lara Small, number 54. She's out there having a busy weekend, but it is at the moment Joe Miller that leads this memorial race into Murray's for the first time ahead of 61 Mark Smith. Then we see number 21 James Lee, and then Poncia number 57. There's a bit of cement dust down there, by the way, on the start finish straight. That's from an earlier incident that happened here at Snetterton. Into Ritchie's we go. It's still Miller that has this advantage from Smith. Very close indeed, these guys. Then number 21 James Lee, breaking late down into Montreal now, and still no changes. Number 57 there up ahead of 142 and number 90. 142 is Chris Spink, and number 90 Matt Mosley from Peterborough, just behind him then. I'm just trying to get a glimpse of that, we'll see in a moment, but it's still Miller that has this advantage from number 61 Mark Smith as the leaders come into the S's. In third place is number 21 James Lee. There is number 79, that's Lee Sylvan, Ferris and Evans on the Dappledoo Racing Honda, and it's still no change out front. Most of these riders actually in the field here, despite not all of them wearing orange vests, are pretty new to this Thundersport 500 Championship, as there looks like there might be just a change here for the lead overall. Number 61 who got the whole shot earlier on, Mark Smith, now coming under threat from number 21 around the outside there, James Lee. Miller it is that manages to get back up into second place again though. He's been leading for some time, but he's now back up into second. These guys enjoying a rare battle out front, and Miller thought about a move up the inside into Montreal. It's not going to quite work there for him. In fourth place is number 90 Matt Mosley. Then it is Chris Poncia. His brother Matt is a few places further back, number 26. Chris Spink there, number 142. A bit further back as number 57, Chris Poncia, makes another place up there and moves into fourth place now. It's Miller that looks to go for the lead into the S's. It's tight through there, but he does manage to take the advantage. Number 94 ahead now of 61, and it's Mark Smith then in second place, and James Lee further back in third. Bit of a gap then back to Matt Mosley as the leaders now go into Coram Curve and then head around towards Murray's, the final tricky left-hander here at the Snetterton 200 circuit with ThundersportGB. This is the Stephen Petrie Trophy, the Thundersport 500 class. Onto the start-finish straight then. Miller it is now that has the lead, and just on the right there, pulling out of the slipstream, number 61 Smith. There's all sorts of jostling for positions going on further back. In number 90 in fourth is closing. That's Matt Mosley, the Royal Air Force Motorsports Association backed rider. The lime green Honda there. The rider just going slightly wide with the orange bib. Then it's Chris Spink, but it is 94 Joe Miller still out leading. The rider from Hull has been running out of the same setup this weekend as cross racing Adam Shelton, I've noticed. Number 61 is Mark Smith from Yarm on the THR Motorsport Honda. And number 21, James Lee from Stockton on the one-way round racing Honda. Number 90, I mentioned already, is Matt Mosley. And then a lot of riders, the likes of Matt Ponsier, Chris Ponsier, Clive Mindham, Lee Sylvan, Chris Spink, all fighting between themselves for 5th place onwards. There they are heading around the bomb hole. Number 78 there is Matt Baker from Hales Owen, the MB Racing Honda. But it's still Miller that leads as they go around Murray's Corner there and into the slipstream immediately. Number 61 Smith, they go onto that cement dust, and then coming up around the outside also is number 21 James Lee. 21 James Lee then on the right of your picture was in 3rd place, and they won't all manage to get into turn 1 in 1st place, and it is in fact number 61 Smith that now leads from Miller and James Lee. Now look who's come straight into the picture, because these guys have been tripping each other up. It is Matt Mosley, number 90, on the lime green machine that has closed the gap down to this leading bunch. In fact, in the background there, the entire group seem to have closed down, as these guys are now racing a pigeon down the back straight, so it seems, here at Snetterton. We just saw one flying off into the distance. It's 61 that has this huge advantage now, all of about 2 cigarette papers ahead of number 94 Joe Miller. Then it's number 21 James Lee, and then it's Mosley. All of these guys not used to racing at the sharp end of races. They all want to get that 1st place trophy. Chris Ponsier in 5th place has bridged the gap now. There's Lara Small up ahead of 76 Ed Flower. Ed from Market Harborough on the Flower Racing Honda. And so, having got the whole shot earlier on, Mark Smith on the THR Motorsport Honda just about fending off Joe Miller as they go across the line to complete another lap. Then a bit of a gap back now to James Lee in 3rd, and then Matt Mosley in... well, in fact, Matt Mosley's dropped a place as well, because that looks like number 57, Chris Ponti, has gone past him. Joe Miller it is that now leads again as they head down towards Montreal. 3rd place there still for James Lee. And then let's just see in a moment, we'll have a look back at 4th place and see whether Matt Mosley's fought his way back up there, or whether it is Chris Ponsier that's there. Clive Mindham is making excellent progress, number 68. But it is Matt Mosley that's back in 4th, and there's another change for the lead. So both Miller here, well, Miller went onto the back straight ahead, and then Mark Smith came back past him, and now Miller's got the lead again, and there's a problem there for number 21. Can't get the bike in gear, it seems. That's number 21, James Lee, who was in 3rd place. He puts his arm up. That's not the best place to be moving around. He's absolutely fuming. Have you ever seen anything like it? He cannot believe it. Number 21 there. Absolutely furious, James Lee. Blame the mechanic, that's what I say, whoever the mechanic may be. Number 94 onto the start-finish straight that leads Joe Miller, and that's that famous pit wall signal that notifies you that there's somebody right up your backside closing in. Not that you can really do much about it, but Joe Miller it is that leads then from now Mark Smith, with James Lee probably being calmed down at the moment by a marshal. That's if they've dared to approach him over at the bomb hole. Miller it is that leads from Smith. Then number 90 is Matt Mosley. Then Chris Ponsier. There's Chris Spink. Number 68 is Clive Mindham. Another rider not mentioned much of, who's going very well at the moment, is Jamie Plummer on the jamtails.com Honda, number 134. Just keep an eye out for him because he's been making his way up from about 9th or 10th all the way through now up into 4th or 5th place. Smith leads from Miller. Smith just has a look over to the right there. Not sure why. Miller closes in as they go around the bomb hole. In fact, Smith has gone a bit wide there and might just allow Miller through. The guy's in 3rd, properly going at it. It's still just Mosley on the green bike that's got it from Chris Poncia. Down into Murray's we go. Smith it is with the advantage. He's gone wide again, and that's allowed Miller over alongside, and now Smith has a look left and realises that he's on a drag race now across the start-finish line, and the last lap flag is out, and realistically speaking, any one of 3 or 4 riders could win this as they go into turn 1. The rest of the pack really have closed them down. Smith it is with the advantage still from Joe Miller. Around Ritchie's and now heading down towards Montreal. Still no change there with 3rd place going to Matt Mosley, who is closing in and looking like going around the outside. Now onto the back straight. Chris Poncia there, number 57, closes in also, and Jamie Plummer is just behind with Chris Spink. So these guys all fancying a go on the podium. And well, if Mark Smith cannot get away out front here, he bunched the whole group up last time they went into the S's, then the same might happen again, but Joe Miller has now gone into the lead. So Miller looking to win on this final lap, half a lap to go as they exit the S's. It's Miller from Smith, the 1-2, now into the bomb hole. In 3rd place, it's just Matt Mosley from Chris Poncia, and then Jamie Plummer. Around Coram Curve we go. Miller and Smith have been fighting this one out all race long. And now into the final turn, into Murray's, and Smith wants to have a look up the inside, and Smith has gone straight on. Oh, and he's wiped out Joe Miller, and he's gone down as well. And so the 2 riders that have been going at it all race long have taken each other out. There's Dave Jack running towards the scene, and that means the checker flag goes out, and Matt Mosley wins it. Unbelievable stuff here in the Stephen Petrie Trophy, drama till the end. Matthew Mosley, who's in 3rd and 4th throughout most of the race, has picked up the pieces there and takes the race win ahead of Jamie Plummer, who's come from nowhere to take 2nd place. Chris Poncia finishes in 3rd ahead of Chris Spink. It's Clive Mindham in 5th place, and the Lion Tamer, Lee Sylvan, in 6th.